So lots of people talk about the outdoor sun. We all know about that. But did you know that there's the indoor sun? Very, very bright indoor sun. I have made sure that every time I get into the room, I put these on because the indoor sun is so bright. And one time I was walking and I was carrying something on the indoor sun was so bright I dropped everything I was carrying. So as a precaution, I make sure that I'll put these on because the indoor sun is very bright, and I don't know where it is because sometimes it's over there, and other times it's hiding, and it'll, whoosh, it'll just be like sitting underneath the table and whoosh, burns your eyes. You need to make sure you have your indoor sunglasses. I also found that this protects me from the number of suns that are currently in the room. If I roll a 4, that means there's probably going to be 4 suns in the room, so I need to make sure that I got the sunglasses on because there's going to be a sun when I open up the cabinet, when I walk this way, and then there's just one that's just always right here, right here, right here, right here, right here, right here, right here. 6 suns indoors. That's too bright, that's too bright, that's too bright. If you have 6 suns, the luminosity is to the level that you'll probably need 2 sunglasses. I don't have 2 sunglasses, so I put my hands in front of my eyes like this, and I try to put just enough so that I can see what's going on when there's 6 indoor suns. But when there's only one sun, when there's only one sun on the indoor sun, I can usually manage that pretty well because the one sun that's in here is not bright enough to make me have to put my hands in front of my eyes like this, because the one sun is usually always in the same place that it always hides. It is always right there, right next to the table. That is the one sun. But when there's 6 suns, they can be anywhere. They are everywhere. Sometimes they're inside the sunglasses, and then I have to flip them over like this because they got me. They got me, and I need to make sure that I don't get any sun in my eyes like that because they like to hide in here. Those indoor suns, they like to hide in here, especially when you roll a 6. But I found that if I roll an odd number of times, let's say a 3, I can't find the 3 because I think there's a sun in front of the 3, so I can't find the 3 because it knows that when it turns into a 3, that all 3 suns go together. They disappear very easily. That's why I always hope that I roll a 3 when I walk into a room, because if I roll a 3, there we go, the sun left, the sun left, the sun left. When I roll a 3, there's no issue with the suns with me because they disappear. I roll a 3, they go away, they go away, they go away. If you roll a 5, then there's a hive of indoor suns, which is why you need to have your sunglasses to be careful, because the suns, they start making little suns, and then there's suns all over because they have a sun hive of indoor suns, and they're very, very warm. They're very hot. I don't want them to burn things, so I have to always say, try to communicate to them. Don't go over there. That's flammable. Don't go over there. That's flammable. You can stay by the sink. That's okay. The sink, actually, yes. The sink is a great place for indoor suns to sit around. In fact, that's the best place for the indoor suns, especially when the sink is half full. And so I always have them go over there by the sink, and then when they get by the sink, and then they disappear. The indoor suns disappear. They disappear, and then I roll again. And I have to roll, otherwise there will be more suns. I know this. No, it's a 6. That's 6. Okay. So there's going to be a lot of suns in here. It's going to be really, really bright. You got to be prepared. I'm already prepared. I know that when there's 6 suns in the room, they're so super, super, super bright. And then I have to wait till nighttime before they go away. I have to wait. It takes about a few hours. Okay. They're inside the glasses. Now they're outside the glasses. Okay. It's so bright in here. It's so bright. Let me roll. What did I get? 5. Another hive. Okay, another sun hive. Hive. Okay, no. Don't go that way. Don't go this way. Don't go that way. Let me show you what happens when you three suns. You'll have three suns over here, and then this one just kind of circles around, and it makes that sound. And I always have to put my sunglasses on because it comes up here and it's gone. It's gone. Sometimes it'll stay back here for a really long time. Sometimes it'll stay here for like maybe a few hours and it comes back up. Then I gotta put the sunglasses on. You gotta put the sunglasses on, so then I can take them off again. And then when it comes back, I gotta put the sunglasses on. So it's really difficult to know that the sun's over here, here, and then it's circling at a time. So I always have to make sure the timing is proper, because if I leave it on too long, all of a sudden two suns, and if you have two suns, then they're gonna just really burn your eyes. Anything more than two suns, I'll get like cataracts in my eyes. That's why I have to be careful. That's why I'm really trying to like map out the schedules of everything and when these suns come around. So this sun, I know this sun, I understand the behavior of that, but this one is finicky now. Anything beyond three, I don't know. Two, okay, so there's only two suns. Oh, how are you doing today? How are you doing today? Very good. I try to be very courteous as well, even though I don't think it matters, because if I'm mean to that sun, it doesn't matter. It just still says the same thing over and over. It says, how are you doing today? How are you doing today? It's like, okay, I'm fine. It's like, how are you doing? It's like, I don't want to talk right now. And then it just comes back, oh, how are you doing today? Just want to know. And so, then we roll again. We keep rolling twos, we keep rolling threes. We need more numbers, but we don't want too many suns because they're too bright. Three. Okay, we already did that. Six suns. So if you have six suns, this is three times, and they just keep on overlapping themselves. So it's best that if I just put my eyes like this, so that the suns don't interfere with me. Hello, how are you doing today? Hello, how are you doing? Okay. So it's always two people. It's like two sun neighbors. One is over here, one's over here. Hello, how are you today? And they talk to each other, but they don't. That's all they say. They say, how are you today? How are you today? And then they disappear. They don't answer each other. They don't do that. So I understand the behavior of those two suns when you multiply them by three. The difficulty is when it's a five. Because if you roll a five, that means there's a sun hive. And if there's a sun hive, there's going to be lots of little tiny suns everywhere. And I always make sure that I say, don't go over there, that's flammable. That's very flammable. Don't go over there. You can go by the sink. You can go, in fact, go by the refrigerator. Anything nice and cold would be great for a sun hive. But the sun hive, I always think that it doesn't seem that it's that bright because it's a bunch of little tiny suns, right? So sometimes I don't even need my sunglasses when it's a sun hive, right? But if they coalesce together and then they make the whole hive really bright, then I always have to put these on because that's a little bit too bright for me. That's a little bit too bright.